have primary control of critical vehicle functions. Roger roll, Discovery.
Hello and welcome to Cutting to the Ball in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, as always I'm joined by Mike.
Hello.
And Claire.
Hey.
Today is our Halloween special, so we thought we'd do something suitably creepy. We're going to talk about the original Bogeyman, Ed Gean.
Or Ed Gean.
Or Ed Gean, however you want to say it.
What would I say, Gean?
I'll stick with Gean. We will crack on with that after we've thanked some new and returning listeners and done some weird news. That'll take 20 minutes, half an hour, so let's crack on with that. So where we at? Oh wow, Ondawanga, Namibia, Fort Worth, Texas, Bel Air, and MD. Where's MD? Maryland. Palm Coast, Florida, Columbus, Georgia, Haverhill in the United Kingdom, Shrewsbury, United Kingdom, Debe in Trinidad and Tobago, Madrid, Spain, Derby in the United Kingdom. It's one of your favourite places, isn't it, Mike? Derby. You love Derby.
Sheep shaggers.
I hear you want to move to Derby. East London in South Africa, that's a new one, welcome to you. Liverpool, United Kingdom. Semarang in Indonesia. Ooh, Saugatuck in Missouri, that's a cool one. Trinidad and Tobago again, San Fernando. Dublin, Ireland, Washington DC, Glasgow in the United Kingdom. Munich, Germany, Liverpool, Australia. Guadalajara, Spain. Shady, nasty New York down to third. And Telford in numbers 2 for once, well done Telford. And Sedgley in the United Kingdom top.
Binging.
The Brits bringing it back for once. Putting those damn colonials in their place. I mean, welcome to all listeners.
He's binging in Sedgley.
Where is Sedgley? Is it West Mids?
Yeah, it's not far from here.
I've never been. Is it a place I should visit?
Maybe,
Is
yeah.
it 3 pubs and a chippy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Same as here.
Okay, fair enough. Alright then, let's do some weird news.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Well, this is very British. Royal Navy officer in charge of 16 nuclear missiles turns up drunk with barbecue chicken.
Hey.
Lieutenant Commander Len Low, I guess that's how you say it, Len Low, was taken back to Faslane in Scotland from US Navy's Kings Bay base in Camden County, Georgia, after he turned up for duty drunk. He was in charge of nuclear weapons, and obviously because of that, being drunk and turned up with a bag of chicken, he was taken off.
Not the worst story I've heard, though.
What was the worst one?
Them soldiers that dropped LSD who were in charge of the nukes. Yeah, no shit.
No way.
Yeah. They're fucking tripping on acid and they're in charge of nukes.
Of all the places I'd want to do acid, being in a submarine is not the place I want to be.
I don't know if it was a submarine. I think it was a missile silo.
We don't have missile
It was
silos.
back in the 60s.
Alright. So not only had he been drinking, he was cutting a bag of grilled barbecue meat. He was taken off the submarine, which was docked in the US in Georgia, and brought home to its usual base in Faslane, Scotland. You notice how we always keep everything nuclear in Scotland?
Well, it's a radius
Furthest away
wasteland
from
anyway.
London.
That's what I mean. It's like, you know, his role was to look after the missiles, which each contained 3 nuclear warheads each, and are roughly as powerful as 30 of the bombs which are dropped on Hiroshima. Wow. A source told The Sun, quote, he was not in a fit state to be in charge of nuclear weapons. Oh, no shit.
Why the hell have they just put a picture of the chicken? It's like, no one's seen chicken before.
It's product placement in KFC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet it is.
My God, that submarine cost £3 billion. Fuck me.
Oh, that chicken
Yeah, we
looks
can't
good.
afford. We can't afford to feed starving children in this country.
Oh no, Mike, because the nuclear deterrent is clearly more important.
Oh, fuck me.
Is the latest scandal to befall the Vanguard class sub. Previously a former captain and first mate were removed from the vessel for sleeping with the female junior officers.
Well, that's a bit harsh.
It's not allowed.
Why not?
It's not allowed.
You're not allowed to fraternise within any of the armed forces with other oppos.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
If you have a relationship, you've got to do any fraternising in your shore leave time, so out of hours in your civvies.
Because let's face it, if the captain's knocking off a female officer like a bit below her, and she's got a really important job, but then she finds out he's also been knocking off another officer, right? She might not perform as well under stress. She might get everyone killed. Like, no, fuck you, we're ramming that Russian sub. It's like, boom, nuclear explosion. Everyone's dead.
But they can meet up outside of, on their leave, so what's the difference?
Well, it's a knocking shop, to be fair. It is.
Because, but they're on them subs for like 6 months at a time. And it's all very cramped. And it's literally 12 hours in bed, 12 hours out of bed. You've got single fucking bunks, mate.
They are single bunks.
Stacked up in threes. It's like their entire fucking world. It is literally where they sleep, and you're sharing that with another grotty bastard who's been in there for the 12 hours before you.
Lovely.
It's not something I'd want to be doing.
I went for it, didn't I?
The submarine service?
No, that's what you can't be in the submarines if you're a female.
Oh, right.
Much to my, or a navy diver, because they believe it can't. The women can't take the same sort of pressures physiologically as a male. I thought that was a bit.
A bit
A bit. Well,
Did you leap over the table and start slapping the officer's face into the desk, screaming,
No,
"You want to know
I
the
was
truth?
just-
You can't handle the truth. I'm as good a die for as anybody."
Well, that's it. Yeah, I was just like, well, there's only very small amounts of difference between us, and I think the Navy should move on.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, Mr. Commodore, move on.
Fuck you, Commodore. You joined the wrong service anyway.
The Commodore?
Yeah.
Is that the title, is it?
That's his rank, yeah. It's either a captain, isn't it, a Commodore?
Yeah, I don't know who's the one that runs the whole show.
Oh, that'd be the First Lord of the Admiralty.
Right, First Lord of Admiralty. Move on.
Yeah, because I think we've got more admirals than ships nowadays. Actually, to be fair. There's like 47 admirals and 40 ships.
Fuck.
Britannia rules the waves and all that.
Why do you need that many admirals? You only need a captain for each one, and then an admiral over, say, 5 boats, maybe.
Career progression, innit? All the captains are getting like so many years in as captain. They can't go any further. So unless they retire or leave or killed in action or something like that, they just got to wait their turn. So I suppose it's like, well, people are getting pissed off and leaving. They're losing that individual with all his years of experience, so make him an admiral, fuck it.
Or they're getting fucked off with the barbecue chicken and then going to get him drunk.
Yeah. So he's a lieutenant commander, so I'm assuming that's quite high.
Yeah. Cabin fever, probably.
Anyway, she's been out on the lash in America, hasn't he?
Probably just having a good time.
Turned up with a bucket of Georgian barbecue chicken, Mike. I bet it was fucking amazing. Why can't you get pissed? Just don't get pissed and turn up and expect to leave the next minute, the next hour or so. Oh, well. We salute you, Royal Navy officer.
Yeah, happy days with the chicken.
Yeah.
I bet he was on good terms with the rest of the crew.
What do you
If
mean?
you sharing the chicken, aren't you?
What do you mean I can't go on the submarine? I'm perfectly fit to fucking control nuclear weapons. Never liked them French, though.
Right then, move on.
Yep.
Poundland removes Ouija boards after they're condemned as satanic.
Snowflake culture.
We
Tell me
talked about these the other day, didn't we?
Yeah.
But now they've been
Poundland.
removed.
Oh, they were literally £1 as well, for me.
Didn't you get in there, Ben?
No, I didn't. I was on days this week. I couldn't go. I'm not going uptown on a fucking weekend. It's like a fucking COVID factory. Or a holding pen for the Jeremy Kyle show.
Yeah, Poundland has removed Ouija boards from stores after being accused of encouraging people to unleash dark forces.
Oh, it's not real.
Yeah. One said he was profoundly shocked to see Ouija boards being sold and warned that all hell could break loose if a demon attached itself to a player. Yeah.
Alright. How many demons are there? Because I bet humans outnumber them. Actually, I don't know.
Well,
No.
0 demons, so of course we outnumber them.
Yeah.
What's the worst case? Let's say that it's real and loads of people start getting possessed. What's the worst case scenario? Are the gates of hell going to unleash and release an apocalypse of fucking demons upon us?
That's what they're saying.
I'm not liking the sound of just possessed people, full stop.
I know, if you're out on a piss and some bloke just vomits green pea soup over you. Because he's possessed.
I said this dry cleans your gun.
Then, like, back crab walls up the wall and goes on the ceiling hissing at you.
Might show off.
You're drooling in my pint, you cunt. Put your tongue away. Just glass him. Oh, you know.
It's that guy again, he just wants some more publicity, doesn't he?
Of course.
Paranormal investigator Paul Marstons has spoken of this horror at Ouija boards being sold in Poundland. Ugh.
The same guy again.
Yeah, he said the young person doesn't control the board controls them, and that is frightening in every sense of the word. I think they're an introduction to a world that is very satanic and takes control of a person's mind, and once the mind is taking control of them, it takes control of their actions as well.
Well, I think he's a bit of a twat.
Yeah.
I think he's a bit of a killjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go to Poundland tomorrow and say, I'm going to get them Ouija boards in the back at you.
Yeah. Get some black market Ouija boards.
I'll give you £2 for one.
£2.
And then we'll do a Ouija board. Well, it is Halloween coming up, you know. So we should have done one tonight.
We should do it on the full moon, really.
Is that the better time?
I don't know. It just makes sense. You know it makes sense.
No, alright.
Why are you just contacting werewolves then?
Ghost werewolves, how fucking cool is that? All they say is don't go on the moor, though.
Make sure you got a silver bullet.
I always carry one with me.
And the gun would be helpful as well.
No, I'm just going to hammer it into... I'm just going to run up and hammer it into his chest with my bare hand.
I've got a silver bullet. Shit, no gun.
I always carry...
Suppository up his arse.
How would you like that, you cunt? Yeah, alright. Wonder if you get in trouble for carrying around a revolver loaded with silver bullets.
Probably. I don't think werewolves is a good enough defence.
No, I'm just saying, silver would be no good as a bullet, probably, to kill humans. It's quite soft, isn't it, silver?
I don't know, is it?
I've no
It's
idea.
the properties of it that kills the werewolf.
That's it.
It's the velocity of the... You know.
It's the properties of it, not the fact that, you know, it's a hard metal or it's going so fast. It's got to go pretty fast, but not, you know. It's the silver, isn't it? It's the silver that does it.
Yeah. I suppose it's carrying around a silver stake, then.
Up the
Well,
arse.
that would
I'm not keeping up on my arse.
Well, you might have to in airports.
I think the metal detector might go off, Mike. Excuse me, sir. Oh, I've got no more metal. Oh, got me werewolf slaying spear up my arse. Sorry, hang on. Can you give me a private room so I can expunge it, please?
No werewolf, are you?
You're not a werewolf, are you? What's the moon tonight? I'm watching you, sonny. And you see him bounding from Park Lane to Park Lane and howling. I fucking knew it! I fucking knew it! Well, okay.
Moving on.
Last one.
So, he built a Trump statue and worshipped it, then he collapsed. Who collapsed? The guy or the...
I've seen this guy
or the
and
statue?
He worships Donald Trump, doesn't he? He thinks he's his god.
Oh,
In a shrine.
he must have a very small brain.
It
So-
doesn't look nothing like Trump. Looks more like Pence.
It looks like a mannequin with a oversized...
Arm.
with a thumb up.
And the hands are way too big.
So, Busher Krishna, a farmer who called the President Trump his god, stopped eating after Mr. Trump became infected with coronavirus, said his family. He died on Sunday.
Fuck me. I wonder what his last words were, like, I regret nothing. Or, please, Trump, please save me.
Right, okay, so his village's headmaster said that the young farmer, Busher Krishna, had been drawn to Mr. Trump's straightforward ways and blunt speech. Okay. And when Mr. Trump announced that he'd tested positive for coronavirus, it devastated Mr. Krishna. The farmer posted a tearful video on Facebook in which he said, "I feel very sad that my God, Trump, has contracted the coronavirus. I ask everyone to pray for him, for his speedy recovery."
Oh, God.
Not much of a god, is he?
No, I expect more from my God, like not catching a nasty strain of the flu and dying.
Yeah.
I mean, crucifix. When you think of it, though, crucifixion's a shit way for a God to die as well.
Why would you stop eating to show solidarity?
Oh, I don't know.
Show lunacy.
Maybe Trump killed him because he is a God.
He fell into a deep depression on Sunday. He died of cardiac
Or
arrest.
broken heart syndrome.
Fucking hell.
Wow.
Jesus.
Still, I thought it was funny he was worshipping Trump as a God.
Rest in peace, Mr. Krishna.
Yeah. There's no evidence linking his death to his fasting, though. Maybe Trump did strike him down, or maybe one of the other Indian gods struck him down from above. Like, you fucking idiot, this isn't how it works. Just give him a heart attack. Oh, well. Oh, he's even got a Trump t-shirt. Where the fuck did he get that?
Well, he lives in India, not the fucking middle of the rainforest.
Well, it's a long fucking... I mean, he must have paid a fair bit of money for it when he convert the rupee to the dollar, Mike. You know, it's like, I didn't even know how many rupees it is to a dollar, but I'm going to bet it's a few thousand.
I don't know, Ben, I don't know the economy of India, but...
You know, he's a farmer, I doubt he's that loaded. He may be loaded. Maybe he had one knocked up in the local shop. I don't know, there is sweatshops in India. Maybe all the Trump t-shirts are made in India.
They are, aren't they? Well, they're in China.
Oh, it's bootlegged.
Yeah.
Bootlegged.
A bootleg Trump t-shirt. Because it's blue. It should be red, shouldn't it?
It's the wrong colour.
Ah, you tried so hard
Although
and
Trump
got
was a
so
Democrat,
far.
though, wasn't he?
He used to be. Not anymore.
Well, no shit, he's a Republican president, but yeah, he was a Democrat at one point. But he realised that he had a better chance of getting president as a Republican candidate.
Just
He loves the uneducated, doesn't he?
That's what he said. Just go to a oh man, this is a sad state of affairs actually. Mr. Krishna, a widowed farmer in his 30s who lived in the village of Khan in the southern state of Telangana, had been a Trump devotee for about 4 years. He became a fan when the president appeared to him in a dream, his relatives said, and predicted India's national cricket squad would beat its arch rival Pakistan in a match the next day. India won, and from that day he started worshipping Donald Trump, said Mr. Vivek, Mr. Krishna's cousin. At first everyone in the family thought he was mentally disturbed, but he kept at it and eventually everyone came around.
So they're all Trump supporters now.
I used to be like, oh, alright mate. Okay. It's mad Krishna. Come on. Did lose his wife, come on, just humour him. He's obviously not right in the head, and I'd imagine the quality of psychiatrists in India in that area is not high. Doesn't even look like Trump though.
Oh, that's a terrible photo, is it?
That's definitely Pence, I'm sorry, that looks like Mike Pence.
I think if you put a hat on him, he looks like JR.
Well, you know, whatever floats your boat, let's not mock his beliefs, just he took it a bit too far, didn't he?
Well, just a bit, he's dead now.
Yeah, there is that. Bit of a miscalculation on his part, really. Imagine going on Facebook though in tears and asking people to pray for Trump when you're from India and you know that you don't know that most Americans don't like him.
Yeah.
Or certainly a percentage of them. I mean, I bet he did not get some kind comments on that video. Okay, we good?
Yeah.
Shall we move on to Eddie Gean, the original Bogeyman? So, Edward Theodore Ed Gean, August 27th, 1906 to July 26th, 1984. Gean was born in La Crosse County, Wisconsin. His parents, George and Augusta, both natives of the state, had two sons, Henry George Gean and his younger brother Edward Theodore Gean. Ed's mother was very disappointed. She wanted a girl.
Oh, right, okay.
Ed's mother's a bitch, by the way.
Yeah. She was a bit of a psycho, wasn't she?
Yeah. And the dad was an alky and couldn't hold down a job. So guess who was the runner of that household. The strong Augusta Gean, big lady, bold in her beliefs, what you would call today an Uber Karen. Augusta's deep contempt for her husband, despite her deep contempt for her husband, the marriage persisted because of the family's religious belief about divorce. She opened a small grocery store and eventually purchased a farm on the outskirts of the small town of Plainfield, Wisconsin, which then became the Gean family's permanent home. Now, she moved to this location to prevent outsiders from influencing her sons. They only left the farm when they went to school.
Apparently he never had many friends.
No, and when he did actually make a friend, she mocked him about it.
Yeah. And she wouldn't let him talk to girls.
No, because every woman, apart from her, was a sinner and a harlot and a prostitute, and they'll lead you down a morally ill path. Every single woman.
Like Bobby Boucher's mum.
Yes, yes. Bobby Boucher's mum.
The devil!
Bobby Boucher's mum turned up to the max.
Yeah.
She reserved time every afternoon to read to them from the Bible, usually selecting graphic verses from the Old Testament dealing with death, murder, and divine retribution. I mean, at least I got brought up watching the Dam Busters. You know? You don't want that as a small child, do you?
She was a fervent Lutheran.
Lutheran?
Yeah. I'm guessing that they're followers of Martin Luther. So they'd be ultra-strict Protestants, something like that.
Yeah. She preached to her boys the innate immorality of the world. The evil of drinking and the belief that all women were prostitutes.
Yep.
Instruments of the devil.
So these two guys didn't really have much of a fucking chance, to be fair. But with an effeminate demeanour, the younger Gean, Ed, became a target for bullies. Classmates and teachers recalled off-putting mannerisms, such as his seemingly random laughter as if he were laughing at his own personal jokes. And to make matters worse, his mother scolded him whenever he tried to make friends. Despite his poor social development, he did do fairly well in school, especially with reading. And that's important, because he did like to read.
Yeah, when you've got no friends and, you know, not much left to do, is there really?
No.
To entertain yourself.
Gean did try to make his mother happy. All he really wanted to do was to make her happy, but she was rarely pleased, and she often abused them, believing they were destined to become failures like their father. During their teens and through their early adulthood, the boys remained detached from people outside of their farmstead, and so only had each other for company. And when you think that she wanted a girl, and she would tell him all the time that she wanted a girl, not him, it's psychologically damaging for a small child.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
You'd be thinking, you know, why? Why me? Why, you know, why wasn't I a girl? Or...
Yeah. Maybe I want to be one.
Most of these serial killers come from repressive families, don't they, where there's a strong sort of matriarchal...
Not always matriarchal.
Isn't it?
Patriarchal too, like John Wayne Gacy's dad used to call him a faggot. That's not me, by the way, that language. You know, a fruit picker as well must be slang. I think because he used to say, I ain't no fruit picker. And when you call your son John Wayne, and he's a fat little fuck, then you've probably gambled and lost, haven't you? You're giving him the name of the most manly man in America, and he's a fat little fuck. So...
My dad wanted me to be a boxer.
Why? What, a boxer dog? Does he know how it works?
Apparently he wanted a son, and his idea was to become a boxer, but...
Did he
I
ever
don't know
try?
why, he never pushed it on me, and I'm a complete pacifist, so...
Well,
But,
your dad should have done boxing, he's fucking
yeah,
huge.
Yeah.
He'd have been fucking awesome.
It's about them sort of reliving through their youth
it.
or their lost youth through their children. Oh, I wished you could have been this or that, or oh, I could have been, and that's what it's really about.
Yeah, pushing the kids into playing sports, because like, I was good at football, so you will be as well, and you'll be better than me, and you'll become a professional, and I can make...
I wasn't good at sports, so I'm going to, you know, encourage you to be good at sports. It can, you know,
Yeah.
go it both ways, can't it?
Can work like that. So, George Gean died of a heart attack in 1940, brought on through alcoholism and probably being nagged by his fucking wife every minute of every waking hour. The Gean brothers began working at odd jobs to help with expenses. Both brothers were considered reliable and honest by the residents of the community, and both worked as handymen. Ed Gean also frequently babysat for neighbours. He enjoyed babysitting, seeming to relate more easily to children than adults. And he did. He had like teenage friends. You know, there was no abuse, there was nothing, but they would come to the farm and they would hang out with him, and he had, you know, and they had no idea what was going on. As we'll get to later, he had some like heads, and he was like preserved heads, and he was like, oh yeah, my cousin brought them back from the Philippines in World War II. And so they're like, oh okay, because they're teenagers. It's like
Gullible.
Thought nothing of it. Like that's a normal thing to do.
Every soldier brings home trophies from war.
Not heads though.
Surely. Hey, my massacre, some bloke was going around collecting ears and hanging them around his neck. I mean, I was in Vietnam. I mean,
I think
even
he got
in
their sword or their little knife or something.
The older brother Henry began to reject his mother's view of the world and worried about Ed's attachment to her. And he started to basically take Ed to one side and say, look, she's not good for us. I'd actually quite like to get married and have kids. I want to see the world. I want to get out and do my own thing. And, you know, you need to do that as well. And he spoke ill of me. You know, she's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, we can't live like this. And because Ed is like all his mother, he's still constantly trying to please her. So, on the May 16th, 1944, a brush fire burned close to the farm and the Gean brothers went out to extinguish it. Reportedly, the brothers were separated. As night fell, Ed Gean lost sight of his brother. When the fire was extinguished, he reported to the police his brother was missing. And when a search party was organised, Gean led them directly to his missing brother, who lay dead on the ground.
Right, okay, that's a bit
Rough.
suspect, isn't it?
Yeah, and apparently they said, well, how did you know come straight here? And he goes, just funny, I guess.
Right.
Because everybody knew he was this weird guy. I mean, he was described as an oddball. He was an oddball. He was, you know, probably... He was mentally... Well, we'll see later on. We'll get to his mental state. But, you know, he was a bit of an oddball. He was harmless. That's why they trusted him with their kids. For God, you know,
It was a different time back then, wasn't it?
It was. However, the police did have some concerns about the circumstances under which the brother's body was discovered. The ground on which Henry Gean lay was untouched by fire, and he had bruises on his head. Despite this, the police dismissed the possibility of foul play, and the county coroner listed asphyxiation as the cause of death. Although some investigators suspected that Ed Gean killed his brother, no charges were filed against him.
Oh, he killed his brother because he didn't want him to go out on his own or upset his mother.
Upset the mother, I think, more than anything.
Yeah.
I think that pleasing Mom was everything, and if he starts speaking out, he's going to get them both in trouble. You know, all he wants to do is make her happy.
Of course.
So after his brother's death, Gean lived alone with his mother, who died on December 29th, 1945, following a series of strokes. At which time Gean lost his only friend and one true love, and he was absolutely alone in the world. Now, she actually had a stroke and recovered, and then later on they had to go to see another farm to, I think it was to buy some hay or something like that. Well, it turns out the guy who ran that farm had a mistress, and she found out about that and basically started ranting and raving at him with a Christian dialogue and gave herself another stroke, which then killed her. But Gean was just like, you know, he was bawling his eyes out at the funeral. There's no one there apart from a couple of her brothers and him. And, you know, he's like, oh, she was too good for this world. You know, oh, sobbing, tears, the lot.
Stockholm Syndrome, innit?
Yeah.
He was to love your captors. I mean, I know it's his mom, but the way she treated him.
Well, that's it. And he's removed his brother out of the equation now, so he can be your mommy's favourite.
And now she's dead and he's all alone.
Yeah. So he remained on the farm, supporting himself with earnings from odd jobs. He boarded up rooms used by his mother, including the upstairs and the downstairs parlour and living room, leaving them untouched. He lived in a small room next to the kitchen, and he became interested in reading death cult magazines and adventure stories. That's not a healthy mix. When they say like death cult magazines, they're about like you know, head takers in the Pacific Islands and things like that. You know, various bloody rituals done to the human body. It was a popular thing in the 40s and 50s comics when they said. On November the 16th, 1957, Plainfield hardware store owner Bernice Warden disappeared. Now they had got reason to suspect him. their son told investigators that Gean had been in the store that evening before the disappearance, saying he would return the following morning for a gallon of antifreeze, and there was a sales slip for a gallon of antifreeze, the last receipt was written.
He was the last person seen with her, wasn't he?
That's right. And they didn't find her for a while, until they did eventually search Ed's house, but only after another killing. And basically it's like, well, he used to make jokes, if you stop, because everyone thought he fancied her, because he was obviously going for women like his mother, similar age, similar build. So he's hanging around the shop and he's hanging around the bar where his other victim was, and they're like, if you stopped hanging around there and just asked her out, then you might actually get her. And they're like, and he'd be like, what do you mean? She's up at the farm right now. And they're like, what the fuck? Upon searching the property, investigators discovered Warden's decapitated body in a shed, hung upside down by ropes at her wrists with a crossbar at her ankles. The torso was dressed out like that of a deer, and she had been shot with a .22 caliber rifle, and the mutations performed after death.
Fuck. Grim.
That is grim.
The mutations after death, that's... Oh, I suppose that's something, isn't it?
It's just basically gutted her like a deer and strung her up, cut the head off. It's fucking grim, isn't it? That's why this is for Halloween. Searching the house, the authorities also found 4 noses, whole human bones and fragments, 9 masks of human skin, bowls made from human skulls, 10 female heads with the tops sawed off, human skin covering several chair seats. Mary Hogan, which was his second victim, she was a tavern owner, again, similar woman, big, in the 50s. He shot her in the back at closing time. Her head was in a burlap sack, in a paper bag, sorry. Bernice Warden's head was in a burlap sack. There were 9 vulvas in a shoebox.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah. Skulls on his bedposts, organs in the refrigerator, a pair of lips on a drawstring for a window shade, a belt made from human female nipples, and a lampshade made from the skin of a human face. Or the skins of human faces.
What, mate? Is the House of Horrors, isn't it?
There was also a drum made with human skin, and Ed's woman suit, which had breasts and everything. And at night, because it was quite an isolated place, he'd put on his woman suit, take his drum out, bang his drum, dance around, hollering and hooting, having a whale of a time, apparently.
Like them tribes in the Death Cult magazines, probably.
Exactly.
Did they cured the skin out or dried it out? Salted it? I don't know. like scratchings. I don't know. It's got to be skinned and cured and put in water. I don't know how you do it. I honestly don't. I don't know how you cure How'd you
human
make a
skin.
lamp
How'd you make a
out of
lamp out of a human face? I don't know, but I seem to want to know. If you wonder
a workshop band.
No, it's worth pointing out that yes, he only killed 2 people, and that seems a lot for 2 people, doesn't it?
He robbed a lot from graveyards.
He was robbing graveyards. Women who died similar age to his mother, go there at night, dig the grave up, take parts of them, bury the whole thing back again. Never had sex with the bodies though. He said because they smelt too bad.
So if it didn't smell too bad, he might have.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
When questioned, Gean told investigators that between 1947 and 1952 he made as many as 40 nocturnal visits to 3 local graveyards to exhume recently buried bodies, while he was in a daze-like state. Now there is certain evidence to suggest that he was having visions. He was seeing faces in the leaves of plants as well. So he's clearly got something going on, whether that's schizophrenia or something, undiagnosed, not helped by his brutal, oppressive religious mother, treating him like a girl.
That's what happens when you have untreated mental illnesses.
That's it.
Yeah.
On about 30 of those visits, he said he had come out the days and while in the cemetery, left the grave in good order and returned home empty-handed. But on other occasions he dug up the graves of recently buried middle-aged women he thought resembled his mother and took the bodies home, where he tanned their skins to make his paraphernalia. He admitted to robbing 9 graves, leading investigators to their locations, because the authorities were uncertain as to whether the slight Gean was capable of single-handedly digging up a grave in a single evening. That's the thing with this guy, he's a skinny guy, he's not the tall, he doesn't look strong, but he's a farmer. He's used to hard labour, he's got that wiry strength.
Yeah.
You know, he's baling hay and digging holes all day. He's a handyman, he's...
Certainly is.
They exhumed 2 of the graves and found them empty, thus corroborating Gean's confession. The fact that they're like, nah, you couldn't do that, you're too much of a pussy, is shocking. Like, just go and exhume the fucking body, man.
I'll try, yeah. It's very dismissive, isn't it?
It is a little
police.
bit. Yeah. So shortly after his mother's death, Gean had decided that he wanted a sex change and began to create a woman suit so he could pretend to be female. Gean's practice of donning the tan skins of women was described as an, quote, insane transvestite ritual.
Oh. They weren't very big on LGBT and all that back in the 40s, were they?
Yeah. No, I'd imagine it wasn't even a thing.
Do you think this is where Silence of the Lambs got it from?
It's an influence of it, yeah.
Yeah, there's...
And Psycho.
Yeah. Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs. All, you'd argue he's actually become a pop culture icon.
Yeah.
In a way.
Cult, yeah.
We're talking the 40s, nothing like this had ever been discovered before, I imagine.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some pretty sick shit. When you've got police officers retching outside the room where he strung these 2 women up and carved them open like deer.
Yeah.
You know, that's a pretty great, especially if you fucking bump against it in the dark.
Oh. Nasty.
Yeah. Now, a 16-year-old youth whose parents were friends of Gean, who had attended ball games and movies with him, reported he was aware of the shrunken heads which Gean had described as relics from the Philippines sent by a cousin who'd served in World War II. Upon investigation by the police, these were determined to be human facial skins, carefully peeled from cadavers and used as masks by Gean. You've got to give it him.
Jesus. He's committed.
You know, he
Needs to be committed.
he really leaped into his hobby, didn't he?
He certainly did.
You know? I wish I had that motivation. Highly motivated individual.
It's like changing rooms as well.
Oh man, are you ready to see your new living room? Okay, remove your eyes. It's just like human fucking skin upholstered sofa, the carpet, there's a human rug lying out like a bear rug with a head.
Yeah.
There's a fucking, there's lampshades made with the human skin, there's a nipple belt hanging off something. I mean, man, you know, like, there's a human skin plastered across one wall as a feature one. I went with an Ed Gean look. I think human skin's going to be really in soon. What the fuck? And they recognise that they actually killed both their parents to make the feature wall.
Oh no.
Oh. Tragic. But yeah. That will be an episode I'd watch though. You know, a few shrunken heads into the bedroom now, we put the skulls on the posts of the bed.
When you said that, I was like, oh,
that is pretty metal, isn't it?
Yeah, metal bed.
Now you see, let's just agree to something, yeah? There's nothing wrong with having skulls on your bedposts, as long as you haven't dug them up from a cemetery.
Yeah. Make them out of plaster or carve them out of wood.
Yeah.
Paint them up.
Get someone else to do it for you.
Yeah.
Even better, because mine would be shit.
Dig them up.
Oh man, so the Welshire County Sheriff, Art Shelley, allegedly physically assaulted Gean during questioning by banging Gean's head and face into a brick wall, causing his initial confession to be ruled inadmissible. Although Shelley then died of a heart attack in December 1968, aged only 43, a month after testifying at Gean's trial. Many who knew him said he was traumatised by the horror of Gean's crime, and that this, along with the fear of having to testify, especially about the assaulting of him, led to his early death. One of his friends said he was a victim of Ed Gean as surely if he had butchered him.
Why was the trial in, 1968?
Good question. I suppose he's probably been mentally evaluated over a few years. Yeah.
And medicated or something like that, and they've just got him well enough to stand trial, possibly.
Oh, he died in 1968.
Yeah, so a month after testifying at his trial.
Oh, yeah. And then it says there that November 21st, 1957 is a trial. I'd imagine someone's fucked up.
Looks like it.
Oh, so on that trial on November 21st, 1957, Gean was arraigned on one count of first-degree murder in Washura County Court, where he entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Found mentally incompetent and thus unfit to stand trial, Gean was sent to the Central State Hospital for the Criminally Insane, now the Dodge Correctional Institution, a maximum security facility in Waupun, Wisconsin, and he was later transferred to the Mendota State Hospital in Madison, Wisconsin. In 1968, Gean's doctors determined he was sane enough to stand trial.
Okay, yeah, so it's 11 years he's been in this mental institution.
Right.
Yeah. And they did determine him guilty of first-degree murder, but because he was found to be legally insane, he spent the rest of his life in the mental hospital. He kind of really got away with this.
He did, yeah.
Like, totally got away with it. So the aftermath of this, on March 20th, 1958, while Gean was in detention, his house burned to the ground. Arson was suspected. When Gean learned of the incident, he shrugged and said, just as well. In 1958, Gean's car, which had been used to haul the bodies of his victims, was sold at a public auction for $760, which is about $5,000 today. Sold that to a carnival sideshow operator, Bunny Gibbons.
Bunny Gibbons?
What a name! And he charged carnival goers 25 cents admission to see it.
I'll never.
Yeah.
It's well macabre.
Yeah.
So on July 26th, 1984, Gean died of respiratory and heart failure due to cancer in Goodland Hall at the Mendota Mental Health Institution. His gravesite in the Plainfield Cemetery was frequently vandalised over the years. Souvenir takers chipped off pieces of his gravestone before the bulk of it was stolen in the year 2000. The gravestone was recovered in June 2001 near Seattle and is now in a museum in Washura County.
God, to make a museum.
Yep. Now, the impact in popular culture, as we mentioned earlier, his story was adapted into a number of movies, including Deranged, 1974, In the Light of the Moon, 2000, later retitled Ed Gean for the US market, and Ed Gean the Butcher of Plainfield.
Never seen any of them.
He also influenced the nature of the book and film characters, most notably such as fictional serial killers as Norman Bates in Psycho, Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs.
All classics.
Yeah. So then
Thanks,
this
Ed
guy.
Of course, there's the Ed Gean musical.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Premiered on January 2nd, 2010 in Manhattan, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Ed Gean in his twisted dream coat.
Ed Gean in his incredible Technicolor flash coat.
Yeah, the flash coat.
I'm trying to think of a song from Technicolor Dreamcoat now.
Oh, how's it go?
I don't know, I can't remember.
Orange and flesh.
So let's just talk a little bit about his sexual confusion. Now, Augusta, his mother's strict view of life, sowed the seeds of a sexual confusion in adolescent Ed. His natural attraction towards girls clashed with his mother's warnings of eternal damnation. A naturally shy and slightly effeminate boy, Ed never dated girls or had any healthy interaction with anyone of the opposite sex. Instead, he nurtured a bizarre, almost Oedipedal devotion to his mother.
Yeah, there was a bit of an Oedipus complex, wasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
We know what Freud has to say about all that.
Yeah, but Freud was also really fucking high and was obsessed with the idea of fucking his own mother, clearly. Because everything, Freud was like, oh man, you're depressed. You want to fuck your mum, but you know you can't.
Yeah.
Like, mate, I just fucking lost my fiancée. No, you want to fuck your mum. That's what it's about. And he did a lot of drugs.
Freud.
Definitely on the weed. And I think most of his ideas are completely discredited now.
I don't think they are they?
They're still taught.
Yeah?
Oh, well, okay. Freud's, definitely an Oedipus complex, I'd argue. Your mother is telling you that every single woman in the world, apart from her, is a harlot and a tool of the devil.
It's gonna fuck with you, innit?
Oh, yeah. Completely. It's going to mess you up. I mean, Claire, you're a mental health professional.
Well, yeah, it's going to give you a disorder of some sort. Because it's just ongoing trauma, isn't it? Always the same thing coming at you all the time. It's going to warp your own sense of individuality, isn't it?
Yes, and probably give you feelings of wondering whether you should be another gender because she tells you that she wanted a girl all the time as well, and that's why you're disappointment too.
Yeah.
I mean, he killed 2 people, so he's hardly a heavy hitter. Right? He's not like Gacy in the 30s, or Dahmer was 10 or 12. Zodiac Killer was 6 or 7, maybe more. But I think that his legacy was more important, wasn't it? That's why he's remembered. It wasn't the killing, it was what he did with the bodies after.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause that's disturbed, isn't it? A lamb.
Imagine being the cop going into the outhouse where he kept the bodies strung up, gutted like deer, hung from the ankles, hands bound behind the back, head cut off, and they've been sliced open, the organs are missing, and gutted like you'd gut a deer on your hunting trip, because it's Wisconsin and most people hunt. And you're going in, there's no light in there, got your torch, your gun's out, and the next thing you know, this fucking pink bloody thing just swings at you, you knock against it, and that comes out the fucking torchlight at you.
The smell as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'd smell it first, you'd be like, oh fuck.
I think he'd actually salted it, which I presume he'd have to do for to preserve the skin.
Yeah. That'd just be terrifying, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Horrible.
And then walking in the house
And seeing him, and he just standing there with his little grin that he always had. Never always had this bit of a lopsided grin, and a bit of a droopy eye. He's this little effeminate guy. No, he couldn't have. Where's he got all these from? I mean, did you kill? And he's like, oh. And he just admitted everything. Yeah, I killed 2. Went to 40 grave trips. And so I don't.
all I can say, he goes, bloody hell, I didn't notice this.
You've been turning that light on every night. It's been with. Oh, I just thought it was. I don't know where I got it. I thought it was Mum's. Oh, try and talk yourself out of this one, Eddie. Okay.
Not good, is it?
Okay. Well, what happened was.
An honest criminal who's come clean and, said, I did this and that, and that.
He fully cooperated.
Yeah. Which, to me, would show that he's got a certain sense of, like, something about him. How crazy could you be if you could remember it all and say, I did it all?
Well, that's it. I mean, a lot of killers tend to get drunk. I mean, Dahmer always did the deed blackout drunk because, they don't want to remember it.
Dulls the senses, or
Dulls the senses. If he's sober when he's doing this, and then he's outside in a full moon with his lady suit, banging his human skin drum, having a holler, having a great time, you've got to wonder what the fucking guy's psychological state, haven't you?
Well, yeah, he's been isolated for a long time, though, hasn't he, since his mum died?
That's it. He's obviously got a mother fixation, so I think we can agree with Freud on that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the bodies that he dug up, the women he killed, built like the mother, similar age when she died.
Yeah, but if she's saying, I'm the only woman you can ever love, and then she dies... It must have broke his heart as well.
Well, it did, yeah. That pretty fractured his psyche as well. She was his world. I mean, you imagine that she's had the strokes, who's taking her food in, who's looking after her, who's changing her, who's helping her get to her feet. It's him.
And all the while he's taking abuse from her.
Yeah. It just goes to show that these religious fuckers are absolute wankers. Or most, some of them.
I'm going to say it's a big generalisation, isn't it?
Fuck it, generalise it. And when people like that are, aren't they? Like, oh, hey, you're the devil. You're like, you looked at yourself. You prick.
I think it's just these minorities, the small amount of people that just take it too far.
Well, that's it. There's extremists in everyone.
That's it.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be raised by one, do you?
No.
I mean, if you took the Bible literally, you wouldn't take a shit, would you? Do you know what I mean?
Following them 600 commandments.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you coming out tonight? No, I can't. On Thursdays, I'm going to be home by 4. It's one of the commandments, sorry. Yeah, fuck that. No. You're always the extremists. It's okay. Is that Ed Gean? Alright, well, let's end the show on some weird news then.
Let's do it.
And some fucked up facts.
Yep.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
feminists facing jail time and thousands of euros in fines for offending religion and committing hate crime after parading a huge plastic vagina in Spain's Seville. That's it, Sevilla. It's a big plastic vagina.
It is.
It's wearing a cape as well. It's garlanded with flowers.
Super vagina.
3 feminists are facing more than €3,000 in fines and a year in jail, each for parading a huge vagina during oppression in Andalusia. The Criminal Court of Sevilla heard last week how the women erected a 2-metre tall plastic vagina upon a wooden board in the regional capital on May 1st, 2014.
Yeah.
It's
taken this long to go to court.
Oh, right, wow. The Spanish Association of Christian Lawyers has accused the women of a hate crime and a crime against religious feelings because there wasn't enough male nudity on it. Child nudity, there wasn't enough. It was a picture of a naked kid, they'd probably be fucking all over it. Dirty religious bastards. Catholic, oh, you know what I mean. The group said they acted with ideological hatred, demanding they be sentenced to a year behind bars. Why do you need an association of Christian lawyers in the first place?
Everybody's got the law in their pockets and, their sleeves.
But the church is so good and pure, why would you need lawyers? They're doing Christ's work, aren't they? Why do you need lawyers? There's no bad stuff going on.
Nah.
Just throwing it out there. The AEAC, which is the Christian lawyers, said the parade constituted a derision to the holiness and virginity of the Virgin Mary.
When it's got that cape that was draped over for a second, I thought, is that Mary? And I went, what is it? Oh.
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it?
Yeah.
The
blue
shroud.
cape, yeah.
Yeah?
It's a virgin vagina.
Aww.
Where's the hymen?
Inside, I'm guessing. I wonder if there's a I bet some priest threw himself into that once they confiscated it. Like dove head first. Yeah, well, there you go. Spanish church, Catholic church, not too big on 2-metre tall vaginas being paraded in the streets. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? Wow.
Political correctness gone mad.
It is. If I can't travel through the streets of Spain with a 2-foot vagina on top of my head, what can you do? What can you do? Sad times.
It's not a hate crime, is it? Crikey.
How is it a hate crime?
I don't know.
I mean, if you were setting it on fire, then yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Well, if it's...
Burning vagina.
You know, it's celebrating the vagina. What's wrong with that?
The Catholic
50% of us have got one.
What, in this room? Have you got, does that mean you've got both?
I'm hermaphrodite.
Oh, right, okay. Interesting.
When you tell me to go fuck myself, I can. You know, it's perfectly natural.
What, hermaphroditism?
Well, yeah, I'm not.
Well, fair enough. I've got no problem against it. I particularly like the effort they've put into the clip. I like that. Okay.
It's all about a detail.
Of course it is. And the cape really, makes it pretty sharp. Really
I think we've determined it's a shroud.
It's a shroud. Like Mary.
Yeah.
Well, I like to think it's a cape, but alright. What's the difference between a shroud and a cape, though, really?
You know...
One's got innocence.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, didn't that
not.
give birth to the Lord Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
Therefore, shouldn't it be worshipped?
It's a big step you've made there.
According to them, it is. I'm only going by what they're saying. According to them,
Yeah.
it's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Jesus popped out of that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, why not statues with just Jesus' face coming out of the That's what I want, damn it.
I wanted to make that cake for someone's someone's baby shower.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to see it now.
No.
Okay.
Alright then.
Next up, Britain's biggest hoarder dies suddenly, leaving behind £4 million treasure trove.
Ooh.
Oh, fucker.
Yeah.
He's got a book called The End of Poverty.
He's got loads of rubbish as well from this picture. His house is... Whew.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit there.
A treasure trove of more than 60,000 items amassed by Britain's biggest ever hoarder could fetch as much as £4 million at auction. The enormous collection was stacked floor to ceiling in every room of a terraced house in Nottingham, and got so vast the late owner had to move into a B&B for the last year of his life.
Fuck me! Fuck me! How much money has this fucker got?
He rented a 1-bedroom flat, 2 garages, part of a neighbour's garden and 24 council wheelie bins just to stash all the stuff.
My God.
What?
The eclectic hoard includes thousands of items of Beatles memorabilia, signed photos and historical letters about President John F. Kennedy, Winston Churchill, Gandhi and Elvis Presley.
Wow, so he's not just pissing around then, is he?
No.
They couldn't even get into the property, that's nice. Oh my God. Imagine getting that on Storage Wars.
There are more than 6,000 vintage comics, over 4,000 rare books, 3,000 vintage chemistry sets, brand new cameras and lenses, and 12 Rickenbacker guitars from the 1960s and 70s.
Wow.
There is also an excellent collection of Russian and American space exploration memorabilia that includes slides and photos, as well as cinema reels, radio equipment, ghetto blasters from the 1980s, Airfix models, and lots of jewellery. The hoarder, who died suddenly earlier this year at the age of 44, was a bachelor who lived alone in the 3-bedroom house in Nottingham. It is thought he started collecting about 18 years ago with the intention of selling it all one day to fund his retirement.
Wow.
Neighbours said a Royal Mail van filled to the brim with parcels would visit the address once a week without fail.
Fuck me.
The hoarder worked as a computer programmer, and it remains a mystery how he found the money to buy it all.
I'm guessing a lot of it's on credit.
Well, they ain't getting that back. They've got from the auction, actually, probably.
There really are some fucking...
Wow.
Some nice stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
the comics look in excellent condition. Oh wow, there's a comic called Supercar. Wow, some really old stuff there.
Yeah, it took a team of 8 men in 3 vans over 6 weeks to empty the house of all the items.
Wow. They're all brand new, all pristine.
Yeah.
Look at all the fucking retro fucking shit he's got there. Radios, answering machines, fucking microwaves.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's incredible. Even his bin cupboard is fucking full.
Literally everything is floor to ceiling,
Isn't it?
Every room, it's mental.
Wow. He didn't buy a lot of rubbish, a lot of it was top quality stuff, said his brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's why his brother's thinking, oh, I'm next to kin here.
4 million quid.
Thank you very much. Oh, imagine having a brother that did that and you didn't know it. You're like, oh man, he's dead. Oh, that's terrible, isn't he? 44. And you go into his house and you're like, holy fuck. Thank you, brother.
Well, at first you'd be like, is this all rubbish? Because it just looks like rubbish at first, so you're like, you know.
It's all in bin bags, isn't it?
Yeah, until you started going through it, you'd be
You're
like,
oh, he ain't
what?
storing his shit in bin bags, is he? He ain't one of them, is he?
He ain't storing his own shit, that doesn't smell bad enough. Yeah, but then you see the shelves filled with the Beatles memorabilia,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah, did you ever watch that Life of Grime?
Yeah,
That was mad, that wasn't it?
yeah.
And there was some guy with just bags of shit. He wouldn't get rid of his waste.
Oh my God.
Bottles of piss and bags of shit.
Why not?
It's just conditions.
something to do with
isn't
your
it?
mental health.
Yeah.
You don't want to get rid of anything, so you just keep all like papers, junk mail, everything. And
Yeah.
You just don't.
And they'd have to keep going back every month to clear the house.
Wow. Just shit in bags.
Yeah.
Oh man, he should be put in a fucking hospital, that guy. He's clearly not saying not to live on his own, is he?
It certainly needs help.
He's
doesn't
shitting in bags! He's shitting in bin bags and leaving it hanging. The stench must be horrific.
But you know how stretched our NHS services are? Mm-hmm. Mental health is terrible.
Yeah, I know, but fuck
Costs
me.
less to send some cleaners round
Yeah.
once a month
That's
or once every 6 months, and you
They
know.
just sort of make a judgment saying, well, he can live with this for a month at a time.
Fucking hell. If you're the cleaners, you're like, look, I enjoy the lucrative rates of being paid by the government because I'm fed up of cleaning up your shit, pal. Can you just use the toilet? You've got one.
Yeah.
It's not going to steal your poo. There isn't a wizard that
Well, he's
lives
not
in
well,
it.
is he? He's obviously not well. Clearly.
I got a turn on the fucking...
And with a better mental health service, he may got the help he needed.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Mm.
Okay, last one.
Okay, parents demand answers from school after kids say new classmate looks like a 40-year-old man.
What? I want to see a picture of this.
There's one in a bit, I think.
Okay, so a letter was sent home after a picture of the student who had enrolled for the first time in an upper year group was posted on Facebook. More than 70 parents responded to the post, with many saying that they intended to take the matter further. One parent, who did not want to be named, said pupils were coming home saying that there's a man in our class. And they were saying that they reckoned he could be 40 years old. He had a hairline, he had a very thin hairline, and apparently he has no birth certificate or passport. He might be the right age, or he might not.
Not if he looks 40 and he's balding.
And he's a foot taller than everybody else.
Yeah. I think it's in the upper. Is it like, you know?
Upper year, so yeah, he's
Yeah.
maybe 18 then, 16, 17.
Yeah, maybe. But still.
Either way, the parents want some clarity. So the teenager is thought to have travelled to the UK without documentation before being placed in a school. How do you just get into a school? Do you just rock up?
Obviously said he's 18 or whatever, or 16, and they put him in school. Must be 16.
You've got to have parents to be put in school, because your parents enrol you, not yourself.
If he's come over on his own with
Yeah.
no documentation, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like. I guess they would just go. You know what? You're in the foster system, and you go to school.
How did he get
Fuck me, you've had a rough life, mate. You're only 16.
60 good? So in the letters to parents, the city council said that all necessary procedures had been followed in checking the age of the new starter.
Apart from actually looking at him with their eyes.
Yeah, they shouldn't have got the blind guy to do the medical.
Yeah. Everything seems to be in order here.
How do they age you? Is there some kind of blood test or DNA test?
To be fair.
You cut off a leg and count the rings.
I think you can buy your teeth, can't you?
That's a
Teeth,
good point.
teeth, yeah.
Top on your teeth.
Okay, maybe so the dental records would be called into play then.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he's got no documentation, has he?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, but they'd do an
refugee?
exam on him, wouldn't they? And go, oh, you got wisdom teeth, buddy? You're not fucking 16.
Yeah, we could estimate.
But then again, he could have no
all
teeth.
the other day.
Yeah.
We don't know what his life was like. He might have no teeth.
So this guy's like balding and got no teeth. They're going, stop bullying him.
He's got a noticeable hunch as well. Soon you'll have a mighty hump.
Do you want to see a picture of him?
He does look old.
Old? He's got fucking stubble.
He's got a 9 o'clock shadow, yeah. Well, I mean... does look a bit old, doesn't he?
He's got to be 21, 23, isn't he? He's certainly not 17. Or 16.
Oh, man.
I think this is a different guy, actually.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, this was something from 2018. I don't think we got a picture of this guy.
Oh, yeah, that's a shame.
The 40-year-old with a receding hairline.
Beer gut. no teeth.
Thin class was cracker and beer.
Not smoking a fan.
Yeah, going out for a cigar.
Going out for a joint, doing some of the opium.
Imagine that little kid's going back saying this is a man in our class. Looks like he's a 40-year-old.
Well, I'd be emailing him straight away. What's going on?
Why does he look like someone's dad? Maybe he is.
I guess they're like, they've been told when they get there, if they say they're a kid, they're going to get priority.
Yeah.
Rather than being a single man. So they're like, yeah, I'm 16. He's like 40.
Yeah.
Is that a beer gut? Have you peed yourself a little? Oh. Well, that'll get the gammons in an uproar.
Yep.
Alright then. Weird news.
Not weird news.
Not weird news.
Where's
Fucked
the
up
news
facts.
Have a jingle.
Facts. Fucked up facts.
Monks in the Khunhan district of Thailand were frustrated with littering in their district, so they built a temple entirely made from discarded beer bottles.
Wow.
You want to see it? That's the temple.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Oh, impressive.
Still, I'd be worried about...
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd be worried about how many beer bottles are being dropped in my local district. I think everyone's got a drinking problem around here.
Researchers at Virginia Tech are developing a more garlicky garlic.
Ooh.
Can't get any, right.
Yeah.
Can't get too garlicky, can you? It's just, yes.
Oh no, you can. I think.
Can you?
I like a bit of garlic.
Yeah.
Garlic butter especially, I'd go for a...
It's alright in small chunks, I think.
Oh yeah, otherwise it makes your eyes water. Oh no, that's onions. Yeah, ooh, garlic. Imagine like an ultimate cheesy garlic bread pizza. Garlicky as fuck. Oh, that'd be great.
In 2019, faced with a drought, priests in the Indian city of Bhopal married 2 frogs to curry favour with the god of rain.
Nice. Ah.
2 months later, clerics had to divorce the frogs to provide some relief from the continuous rain that had damaged over 9,000 homes.
Ah. What are we going to do about this flooding, man? The gods must be well pissed with us. Got an idea. You'll love it. We marry 2 frogs together. That'll appease the god of rain. Boom. Love it. He loves frogs. Then he finds out that they're actually 2 male frogs or 2 female frogs and the god of rain is a homophobe. So I disapprove of same-sex frog marriage. And he's kept on raining. They're like, oh shit, divorce them! Divorce them! It's not working!
In 1995, Tuvalu,
What?
the country of Tuvalu, have you heard of that?
No.
No.
I thought it was a travel company.
I thought you were saying Toodaloo.
Tuvalu.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
It was a fucking travel company, Tuvalu. Alright. Okay.
It's a country, small Pacific island.
They have a rugby team.
I know they've got a football team.
Eh?
They have got a football team.
Wow.
So I've played them as New Zealand manager. and football manager.
Wow, that's... Just so that the listener know, Mike's a football manager nerd. I mean, what was it? 5th division of the New Zealand League.
Yeah.
Barely football at that point.
Had no ground and no fans. Apparently, in 1995, Tuvalu was assigned the domain code .tv.
Nice.
Yeah. So Tuvalu now earns about 1/12 of its annual gross national income by licensing .tv to tech companies.
Ah, awesome. Wonder how much that is. What does it say?
Doesn't 1/12? I don't know how much it is. Yeah, but fair chunk.
Yeah.
Ching.
Ching ching.
The Finnish version of raining cats and dogs is to rain from Esther's ass.
What?
Who's Esther and why is her ass so bad?
Nobody is completely sure who Esther was.
The poor Esther. Oh no, that means you're just bathing in Esther's liquid shit. You know, you walk in, better put the old shit coat on, throat you waterproof.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking grim.
Maybe she was just a particular squirter.
It's still piss.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it piss? Is
Yeah.
It? I don't think it's piss, is it?
Yeah, it's piss.
It's not.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Seuss's publisher bet $50 that he could not write a book using only 50 words.
Yeah, well, all this fucking stuff reads like that to me, to be fair. I fucking hate him.
Seuss won the bet by writing Green Eggs and Ham.
Yeah.
It's only got 50 words in it, less than 50 words apparently.
Oh, that explains a lot. I never liked all that Dr. Seuss crap. It was too fucking crazy. Just stupid. I didn't like it.
I quite liked it.
I'm not into it.
No?
No. Rather gouge my own eyes out than read the book in all fairness. Or what's that movie with fucking Mike Myers in it where he was the cat in the hat? I'd rather gouge my own eyes out.
It was quite annoying.
The Grinch is him, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really annoying as well.
Yeah.
According to sleep researchers, catching up on sleep over the weekend only makes you more tired on Monday morning.
That explains a lot because I feel knackered now. I had a 10 hours skip last night.
The cat's just woke from a 19-hour kip.
Yeah, but he's a cat. It's alright for him.
For decades, astronomers at the Parkes Radio Telescope were baffled by radio bursts that seemed to have no physical explanation.
Ooh.
In 2015, astronomer Emily Petrov realised the signals were due to astronomers opening the microwave while it was still cooking.
Oh, that's gutting. Everybody thinking, yes, we've done it, we've found an alien signal. It's like, Bob, don't take your jacket potato out before it pings, you cunt. Sorry, I said cunt a lot today, sorry. Don't know why.
It's nearly a full moon.
First beers of the weekend, I think, so my tolerance has dropped.
People feel thinner and lighter when they can smell lemons.
Ah. I want to walk around with some lemons in my pocket all the time.
I've got a lemon shower gel at the moment.
It just makes you think that you're slimmer and lighter.
Yeah. I don't
So
particularly
you
feel
sort of
thinner
wave it
and
around
lighter.
and make everyone else smell it. That's the thing.
Smell my lemon! Pushing a lemon into people's faces. Smell it! Feel thinner, feel fitter, feel younger. This is a health lemon, 50 quid. You got a coat with lemons hanging up inside.
Would you like to buy?
Would you like to buy a lemon? It'll make you feel thinner and fitter.
In 1887, to encourage people to buy British, a law was passed that meant all products made in Germany had to be labelled as such.
Right.
This backfired when the Made in Germany label became a sign of high quality.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, let's just use cars as an example. Would you rather have a BMW or a Rover?
No question, is it?
No. For anyone that doesn't know, Rovers were sort of the last British-owned car manufacturer, and they were awful cars. But for some reason, everyone was really sad when it went.
I had a Rover Metro. It was my first car.
Ah, that was one of their few successes, to be fair. This wasn't enough. All their cars had that fucking strip of wood in the fucking dashboard for some reason.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
They always had a strip of wood just with the glove box.
Mine was the budget model. It didn't have that.
You just had a separate plastic piece, probably.
Yeah.
A strip of the same coloured plastic.
This summer, a fox in Berlin stole more than 100 shoes from people's porches and hid them in a thicket. His favourite seems to have been Crocs.
Oh, Chester.
Most people are now keeping their shoes indoors.
Oh man, foxes love Crocs, who'd have thought?
Must be the smell of them or something.
Oh, sorry German people, just don't leave your shoes out on the porch.
I read an article the other day about this cat that likes to rob people's stuff in this cul-de-sac, and it comes back with like gardening gloves. It comes back with just just little things like a peg bag but with no pegs in it, and she's had to sort of try and give back all these items.
Sounds like a twat.
They find it quite funny.
Oh, bless. They haven't crucified it to the owner's door yet then?
No.
Okay.
One restaurant in Bangkok has been simmering their beef soup base continuously for 45 years.
See, what were we saying about the flavour building up?
Oh, in the pans.
Off mic, yeah.
Except they would like to make it clear they do clean the pot, they just transfer it to a different pot so they can clean it. So they do clean the pots, actually.
Yeah, but they use the old fucking grease and fat still, don't they? So it's all good.
So it's just the same sort of thing, but they're just adding a bit more water to it, a bit more meat to it, and I suppose if it's always a constant heat, it's not going to develop those microbes, is it?
No, I suppose you're taking it out as well, aren't you? Replacing it a bit.
Putting new stuff in, adding to it.
Yeah.
Magical.
So I doubt there's been molecules that have been there for 45 years. Maybe. I would imagine they would have either burnt off or been eaten.
Yes, imagine the taste of that. Ooh, 45 years of flavour.
The Latrine Fall of 1184, this doesn't sound good, does it?
The Latrine Fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was a disaster in Germany where a large group of noblemen gathered in a room above a latrine pit to discuss the distribution of power in the Holy Roman Empire.
Right.
The floor caved in, causing up to 100 of them to fall in and drown in liquid excrement.
Oh, man. Why would you build a toilet upstairs in a castle? Oh, put it on the lowest level or something. Jesus, you don't want it fucking above a meeting room.
No, it's below.
Below it, they all
Below
fall
me?
in.
Yeah, but the latrine's above the room, isn't it?
No.
No, it's all below.
Oh, they dropped in?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it gave way from above.
No.
Oh, man. Oh.
Why are you having a meeting room that close to that much shit? You know.
They're all drinking. It was a heavy meat diet. I guess there was a lot of liquid shit going on.
There's only like that floor between them and the...
I'd want that floor reinforced to the fucking max, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's going to reek. In them times, surely, you know.
Yeah. But then again, I suppose you just got used to it, didn't you? Because everywhere you went, it smelled of shit.
Yeah. Didn't have toilet paper either.
Well, that's
you
it.
smelled shit yourself.
Everyone's walking around with shitty arses.
Shitty robes.
Yeah, I mean, they used to have like long sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
And they'd like basically pull the tails under themselves and then tie it off so they would act as underwear.
Right.
Having shit in their breeches if they had to. Or getting shit stains on their breeches.
The sound of a car door closing with a solid thunk has been engineered using psychoacoustics to sound much more robust than it actually is.
Interesting.
So the noise is fake.
So all the effort they've made in making that car noise sound chunkier and more well built.
Could have made it better.
They could have just made it a bit more well built.
I mean, in the long term, they're going to save money, aren't they? That's what it's all about.
Okay.
I've had
Seems a
an
bit
absolute-
counterproductive.
I've had an absolute shed of a car before, and when you've like shut the door, it's just like chink like that. You don't feel as safe as a
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
How do you like that chunk noise as well? You get a well-made car door. Usually from a foreign car. Probably German.
Okay, finishing this one then. When cicadas are infected by the hallucinogenic Massapora cicadina fungus, they turn into rampant sex addicts who mate until their genitals fall off.
What's a cicada?
Cicada, it's like a moth, isn't it?
Oh, I had
Like a locust or something.
locust. I had a newt type thing in my head.
They've actually got
I had a
a
monkey.
weird life cycle where they like hibernate and they only come up every 7 years.
Alright. So
Yeah.
you give them this stuff.
They get this fungus. If they get infected by this hallucinogenic, they turn into rampant sex addicts who mate until their genitals fall off.
Wow. Still, you'd be satisfied, wouldn't you? I mean, you'd be like, oh man.
You'd have to be because you're not getting any more.
I literally fucked until my dick fell off. You can't, I think that's like God level fucking, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need to do it anymore. I've done everything I can possibly do.
That's it.
I've gone to the Kama Sutra 17 times.
Well, you better hope you're done. 'Cause you want to be fucking again.
Well,
you got a wooden stump.
Well, I don't think that these little insect things are that into prosthetics, Mike. I don't think they have a National Health Service.
I meant you if it could be transferred over.
Well, I want a gnat stuck dick.
No, if you had the hallucinogen that made you do it.
Oh, right. Well, I'd probably be in jail, to be fair. Because be a lot of women, because I'd become a rampant sex addict.
You just have a big debt, that's all. A lot of prostitutes you're paying.
Well, who's to say it doesn't affect my brain, and women who say no, who knows? 47 no's and a yes is still a yes.
Or just make sure you give it the same hallucinogen to another woman.
Ah, makes sense.
Willing woman, obviously. Don't drug her.
What if I drugged up the 10 centre on a certain day? Or maybe the changing room at the ladies' gym. You know, what about that? Is that unethical?
I'd say so.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Alright then, so I'd say that's the end of the show. Thanks for listening. You can follow us on Facebook, Cutting to the Ball in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. We are on YouTube, Cutting to the Ball in... Oh, it's Apocalypse Ball on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on Instagram and Twitter now again.
Yeah.
Cutting to the Ball.
Cutting through the ball. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's everywhere we are. Like the Facebook page. Give us a listen. Recommend us to a friend, a lover. Maybe 2 lovers if you're lucky enough. So yeah, I've
Just
been Ben.
don't fuck until your genitals fall off.
Don't fuck until your genitals fall off. So I've been Ben, thanks for listening. Don't drink the Flavour Aid, don't join a cult, don't fuck until your genitals fall off. Don't watch 1917, it's shit.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening, peace out. May the force be with you.
And I've been Claire. Keep an open mind, but not so open that it dribbles out your ears. Good night.